Welcome to What's the Effort?
What the F?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Today, I have with me a very, very special guest. Today, I have Ty Briggs, and I feel so honored and so blessed that he's here with us. And if any of you know, Ty, you'll understand why I'm saying that. Uh, Hi, Tigger. Nice to see you.
Tigger's
Uh,
the best.
yeah, Tigger is a sweetheart, isn't she?
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I just want to say again that I'm very, very privileged. And I'm going to begin. You guys know I do those funny little adverts for people. They choose their own movie, and then I kind of put them in there, in their own place, and they get a kick out of it, and it's a little different. And Ty had chosen The Family Man, and I understand, the premise of The Family Man. Nicolas Cage and his character, who was on Wall Street woke up and was in a bit of a he wasn't sure if it was a nightmare or heaven or what, but he was suddenly a family man. And it was interesting to see just how when you think you have your life figured out, you're not in control anymore. And I thought that was a very fitting choice for Ty, but I would like for him to tell you in his own words why he chose that movie. Do you mind explaining that to us, Ty?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you always make me blush. I'm just like everybody else, and anyway, you're very kind and sweet, so I appreciate that. The Family Man always hits me hard because I have a lot of both of the character aspects of Nicolas Cage in me. I'm a guy who I like Wall Street. I like moving and shaking things, and can see myself and have been in places where life seems like it's coming together in a lot of from a lot of perspectives. There was a time when I had my marriage was absolutely perfect, and I had these four beautiful kids, between 1 and 8. I still have them, but anyway, I want to shrink them back to that age, but I had them all going. I was pretty young. I was 37, and everything was clicking for me in life. Everywhere I went, it was just meeting after meeting, and they were important meetings. Things happened. Things got taken care of, and I felt a certain amount of control over my life. And then, like Nicolas Cage, November 6, 2005, so I just hit my 19-year anniversary. I woke up to the smell of eggs and bacon that Sharon, my wife, was making Sunday morning, and I was like, oh, that smells good. It's time to get up now. And I couldn't move right. And so I could tell something was seriously wrong. I thought it was a stroke. And then I yelled for Sharon. She came in and said, what is wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. And I couldn't move well. And long story short, by that night, I thought I was going to die. The pain was so bad. I didn't think I'd make it to the hospital. I remember her asking me if she wanted me to go to the local hospital or down the canyon. And I said, I'm not a pet. Like, don't send, that's a vet place over there. Like, let's not go there. And so, anyway, so I went down, and it took the neurologist about, a couple of hours, and testing. And he came in and said, "Well, you're in for a buggy ride."
A buggy ride? That's how he
Buggy
said it?
ride. That's what he said. He said, "You're in for a buggy ride." And I said, "Well, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And when do I get to leave?" And he said, "You're not leaving anywhere." And by that night, I was paralyzed to my chest. I had
Whoa.
no strength left in my hands, couldn't hold anything, couldn't move my arms or legs. And he had diagnosed me with Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is like winning the negative lottery.
Yeah.
And so that was the new world that I woke up to.
So, when you told me that you had been diagnosed with, GBS, I had heard of it before, and I don't know how many of our guests know what it is, but when read further that your own immune system goes after your nerves, what the hell is that like?
Um, Scary. It's scary and it's also extremely painful. So what happens is we all have what's called a myelin sheath, and it protects our nerves. It's a fatty layer of tissue that develops to keep the signal from your brain to everywhere else strong and quick.
Mhm.
And my body thought that this cold that I had and the myelin sheath were the same. And so my body went out and started stripping all my nerves bare. So the signal from my brain to my body was shorting out. And at the same time, the longer it went on, I was on bare nerves everywhere. So it was like going to the dentist and having your tooth drilled and then having him say, "Okay, I've drilled the tooth. Why don't you go home now and we'll see how you do." But it's your whole body
Wow.
on open nerves. So they built a tent over me um, because sheets hurt, and I would just sit there and try and live minute by minute with the pain, waiting for the next IV morphine.
Oh,
Yeah, would last like 2 minutes, and then I'd wait for another 45 minutes, and that was my life.
so did you get to go home?
No, I was there for a long time, but a couple this is what's funny is that a couple of days later, my brother showed up. And he's like, "I'll help you out." And I had him holding my phone up to my head, trying to stay in meetings. And my neurologist came in and he took the phone and hit end. And he goes, "You don't get it. Your old life is gone. That's over. And it's going to take a long time for you to get through this." And the fact is that it took, 5 or 6 years until I could walk properly again.
Oh my gosh.
And,
Oof.
and then the, the way they treat you, the medication they give you is very, um, it's not that great. They're just trying to treat symptoms. And, they almost killed me with the medication. And so um, they had me on every drug imaginable, from end of life fentanyl
Ooh.
to I could make a list for you about 10 long, and every single one of them you'd say, "Oh, don't do that." And about 10 or 12 years in, I knew I was going to die. All my organs were shutting down, and so I went
Oh.
into the hospital and I said, "Take me off of all this." And they said, "We've never taken anybody off of all of this. That's not happening." And I said, "Well, you're doing it today." And I gave him this bag of medication that I always kept with me. And I had these transdermal patches that I kept on my shoulders. I peeled them off and into the hospital I went. And some days later, I walked out of there on no medication.
Didn't you wha didn't your body go crazy?
Yeah, I didn't do anything but throw up and
Mm.
scream. lame for 4 straight days. Sometimes only my head and heels were touching the bed. I tore almost every muscle in my body.
Oh,
So,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
well, here's the big blessing for me. Because I was on all of these medications, most people never, or very few people can get off. But they actually never took me out of pain. I was
Oh,
always still in pain. And in fact, I would still have to go over like every 6 weeks or so and get an IV shot of Dilaudid on top of all of that, on top of 60 milligrams of Percocet a day, on top of muscle relaxers and Valium and all these other things. And yeah, I mean, my body, like Nisha Hyde just said, was in absolute withdrawal from it.
mhm.
But my brain never felt like, oh, I'm feeling some euphoria here. No, no. My brain was used to being hit on the floor at night because I was in so much pain. So
So because you never got a high off it, you didn't
yeah,
psychologically get
never.
addicted.
Yeah, there was no relief from the pain.
Wow. That is pretty amazing to see. Uh, wow. Okay, so yeah, nor I expected a little, chit chat here, and we've got people that have
Yeah,
opinions on this for sure. And it's very, very, very difficult, to think of having to go through something like that for sure. Um, and I know that you had stated it really was about 12 years altogether. Um, so you know, I would like to talk a little bit about, like what got you off your back and what were you doing before and what are you doing now?
sure. So, um, I guess to follow up on that, I'd started my own real estate development company when I was 24.
When you were 24, you started your own real estate
I was
development
still in
company?
college. Yeah, I was still in college, and uh, I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
And it was really hard. I didn't really know what I was doing very much. My dad was a city planner, and so I had learned how cities work just at home.
Mhm.
But I went out and just started charging people a fee to take their project to the city. The fee was like nothing. It was just
Oh,
a few $1,000s. Now that's like an hour phone call. But yeah, so I ended up building a couple of thousand lots and homes
okay.
over
I'm
time.
looking.
I built it up.
There was a picture that I wanted to show, and
Yeah,
oh, there we go. All right. So you have this picture that I wanted to share with everyone and ask you to please talk to us about this because this was not just, you know, uh, carrying paperwork down to the city office. What are we looking at here?
so that's about 600 acres of property. Um, it's on a plateau that overlooks all of Utah County, Utah Valley.
So all of this is on the plateau and it's above
Not
it.
not just up, just the circular part on the top, and then
Oh,
there's
okay.
180
That
foot
plateau.
drop there. And yeah, it's all quite elevated, and there's unbelievable views up there.
Nice.
And I I kind of, I guess I stole a play out of Pace's book before. Well, I did this when Pace was about. I did this in '99, so Pace is what, 40 or something, 40. So subtract. I
About
think
that.
maybe he was a freshman in high school, maybe he's middle school. I don't know, but he was just um, a young little guy, and but I was out here trying to find bunnies. I just didn't know they were called bunnies.
Right.
And the family that owned this property right here.
This is in Utah, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. This is in Utah County.
So one family owned all of this.
All of that, plus the golf course property down there, plus that cul-de-sac that's down there,
Wow.
plus the property up here. Those are all townhomes. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of land. Who owned all that?
Their name was Hayes, and,
Okay.
and they were two gentlemen in their late 70s. One of them was actually a captain in the Battle of the Bulge. They were
Oh,
both
cool.
Stanford-educated geologists, and they loved this area because when I got there, it was just rocks. There was nothing there, and that's actually one of the things I that changed me was the first thing there were 83 people trying to buy this property. I was not going to win that bidding war.
And how old were you?
Oh, let's see, 30.
Okay. So you were also old enough to kind of take seriously, but not old enough to say this guy's got, decades of experience.
Right. And you know what? And I didn't have decades of money either. And so I started everything on my own. All I had was debt, and I was just a kid, felt like a kid. And so I sat down with them and had a nice conversation. And I said, I noticed that that property has been owned by your family since the patent. And they said, yeah, we're the only ones when you do a title search on us that will show up ever. I said, that's pretty special. That's hard to sell. And they said, yeah, it is. It's actually really hard to sell. And there are a lot of emotions tied up in property like that. And so I said, well, I'm probably not going to be the financial guy that you're going to go with on this property, but I just want you to know that if I did work on a project like this, I would want to build a park and name it after your family. And I would want to probably build a golf course up there so that there's a legacy there of something different and special that your family can say, you know what, the old dry farm, it's not, just a gravel pit now. So I borrowed $100,000, and then they let me sign a note. I was dumb enough to sign a note for $12.5 million, and put my tail on the line and that, but we ended up doing 850 homes in there roughly.
Wow. So you got it out of the 83.
Yeah.
You got it because you had the foresight to say, let's put this jewel of a crown and call it Hayes Park, as well as all these golf courses all around.
That's all they cared
so
about.
that they would have a real legacy.
Yeah, they never even took the money. They just put it into a trust that was being doled out to issues that they felt were important.
So they didn't keep the money for themselves.
No, they didn't even buy a new car.
Wow. That is really, really, really special. So you got to do this. What an accomplishment at 30.
Yeah, well, and that's where life got complicated, is right at the end of this. And by 2006, I was rolling. I mean, I was at the top of my game.
Yeah. And then
I got hit in the back of the head when I wasn't looking, and everything changed. Everything changed. And one thing I was going to mention is that for me, I can go through and I can describe the pain, but that's only a fraction of what happens to you when something like this happens. My biggest problem was mental and emotional. My problem was I'm sitting here in bed in pain and can't do anything, and I'm used to working up here. That's a space that I'm comfortable in, and I just rock bottomed it. And I thought, well, how do I ever regain what I lost?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of back to the family man thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is how do I regain what I lost? And the answer was, you can't. You have to learn to be okay not going to point A that you planned everything around. And you have to find out what point B is. And it has to be something that you can re-engage with and make work again like before.
Yeah.
And that took a lot out of me.
I'll bet.
That part. The pain and the paralysis, that was something that was just, right in front of me. It was that stuff that hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the part that hurt.
Yeah. Hey, Tigger, I agree with you, girl. That is pretty remarkable. And yet, it's interesting because Ty sent me a couple of pictures of when he was in this state, and I couldn't get them up. I'm very, very sorry, guys. I'm not as good as I can be in the future. But I will say that it's pretty amazing to me to see this gentleman now, having seen the pictures of how he was and having been able to imagine just a little bit, So talk to us about where you are now, because that is an incredible accomplishment that you had, and you really got hit very, very hard.
I
And
did. I did. So this is challenging when somebody does this to you. I say somebody. This is my moment that, by the way, Becca Brown's on here, if you see her. You know what? She is a fighter. She's a better fighter than me. And she's out there trying to get herself a new heart. And keep her in your prayers because she's a good girl. And I appreciate her. Beautiful, beautiful person. So I basically was retired at 37. And I was fortunate enough that I could retire. But the truth is that I was withering away, not just physically, but mentally. And I was not taking all of the things that I had learned and putting them to use anymore. And my son, who's 24, came in and sat me down. We'd been watching football.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Hey, Dad, I need to talk to you." And I said, what's this?
You're being called to the principal's office.
Yeah. And so he said, "You know what? I'm tired." I said, "You're 24. You should never be tired."
Yeah. What's your problem?
Yeah. What's the matter with you? He said, "No, I'm tired. I'm tired of watching you sit there and waste what's between your ears when other people could be learning from you. You could be changing people's lives, and you could be adding value back into a place that had real meaning. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and pretend like you're not doing that. I'm expecting more than this."
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
And
yes. God bless the children.
yeah, well, and that kind of gets me a little emotional even talking about it right now, because that's hard coming from your child.
Oh, for sure.
It's hard.
I mean, you're supposed to be the example and everything. And even though you've gone through so much, I can imagine that was very painful.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It was, and you know what? I had to reevaluate. I had to say, what am I teaching my children? What are they learning watching me? And they were learning that when you hit something hard, you don't have to get back up. And when things get tough, maybe you should just settle down. And enough is enough. And that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And so I sat down with him again, and he goes, "Hey, you ever heard of sub 2?
He introduced you to sub 2?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was like, what's sub 2? And he said, "Well, watch this video." And I said, he said, I just want you to tell me what you think of this." And so I watched the video. I was like, well, this guy, this guy, uh, he's not talking about anything really new. I mean, I've been doing things like that for 30 years. Um, but he knows what he's talking about. I said, but he's doing something actually bigger than that. He's building a community. That's the genius of him. See, everybody who does what I do, they do it for themselves or they do it for the company that they work for. And they're satisfied because there's enough for them to lead a good life and to be in a good place. And Pace said, that's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. I want a community. I want leaders. I want people to come out and change what's going on in this space. And this is what we see, right? To me, the value is you, Effie. It's connecting with you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
And don't these people over here that are on here, they need to know that I reached out to you a couple of times and she just ignored me until I finally got her attention. And but you were always somebody that I was really interested
Oh,
in
thank
learning.
you. And I don't ever ignore anyone really. It's just that I'm super busy and yeah, okay, no excuses. My life would have been better if I'd met you earlier. But I am the honored one. I'm very, very, very honored. Yeah, yeah, it's a joke, Tigger. I don't know. Anyways,
So,
and some
so
tie.
yeah,
Yep.
that was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And since then, I've met a lot of people. I hate to start naming names, but it's like a Becca Brown here, Tigger, or Jody Evans, and there's there's a bunch of people on here that I've met. One of the things I enjoy doing right now actually is I've told people, hey, if you're working on a land deal, just call me. I'll give you some time.
Well, as I understand it, you've got a little goal that you kind of shared a little.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Yeah. Look at his goal to disrupt the entire real estate market.
It seems like undoable, right?
I love the fact that it's coming from someone who has had
You
had the hell beat out of him.
see these gray hairs? I've gray hairs, like all of
Okay.
those, and I've got Wall Street now, guys, and really strong people at the top tiers of finance and real estate across the country that want to launch my Reds project. And
All right.
I'm not here to really talk about that today because I'm going to launch that in probably another 30 to 60 days or something like that. And when I do, um, that is my goal, to disrupt the entire industry.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about that. I want to feature it. But before we do, you had said some pretty incredible things about the US real estate market itself. So
Yeah.
could you tell me a little bit about that and tell me what you want to do?
Yeah. So this business, without going into the details of the business, I enjoy getting on the Facebook page and looking at the questions that are being asked and the answers that come back, and it's kind of fun. And what I notice is that there are basically, and I'm not trying to stomp on anybody's feelings if you feel like you're not there. I'm not. I'm an old guy, but um, you know, there are people out there that understand that their job is to deliver value, to build value, create value, and deliver
Yep.
it. And that is their job. And whether that happens because you learned a method or you got a contract that works, or you got information from either people in sub two or through Pace Morby, and the he epitomizes value. So my favorite thing that you'll ever hear from him is very simple. Hey, how much is this going to cost you? Nothing. This is just the value I bring. He gets it. I'm going to build a community and keep bringing value. So in my space, my little space, and I call it little, that's what I'm after. Is I am after that goal, and I'm going to be trying to deliver value. I remember the first time I built a neighborhood, and this kind of caught me off guard, but I was driving back through after all the homes had been built. It wasn't big, it was just a small one. And there were moms out there with their strollers pushing kids. And I thought, hang on, what's going on here? They've built their lives around something I saw in my head here. They're building their families here. And I'm driving through and they don't even know that that this was something that I did it by, by creating value. And so that's something that I've noticed, for example, in sub 2 right now. How long, if you're doing a sub 2 deal, Effie,
Mm-hmm.
how long is that deal going to last in your selling bin if it has amazing value in it for somebody else?
Not long.
Yeah, not long. And so if people will readjust their scope to not what is best for me, not what is the proper right way to do, forget that. What are you bringing to somebody else? What is the value that you're really bringing here? If you're just readjusting value or pushing it over here or just whatever it is, you know what? That is not going to get you where you want to go. It will get you someplace. I'm not saying that you won't have some successes there, but it will not take you where you want to go. You've got to decide for yourself, hey, you know what? The reason I'm buying this house sub 2 is because I got it at this rate with this entry in this neighborhood. It's got, all the great things about it that everybody would want. It's got none of the garbage. And I'm going to fight for that deal with the seller until it matches up with what is valuable to the market. I'm not doing deals that don't match up with the market.
Right.
Those are not interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. And
so on a smaller level, it was that aha stroller moment that I'm waiting for people to see is as how am I doing that? And so, today, when I'm looking at my own business model, I say, what value am I bringing to my client? What value am I bringing to my partners? What am I doing for them anyway? Seriously, what am I doing for them? What am I doing, for example, for my PML? And how do I treat them? There's a few people out there that are just kind of, making that place harder for all of us. Because they don't ever intend on creating value. They're just pushing money from one pocket to another. And that's great. When you go out and you decide, you know what, I'm going to make some money for my PML. This is how I'm going to do it right here. Bang, bang, bang. Here's your check back. And they're happy and thrilled with you. Now you're in business.
Yep.
Now you're doing something, but it doesn't stop there. It's how do you bring value to the community after you've done that? Do you share that story? Do you talk about the people that you interacted with? Do you tell them what worked for somebody else? Get other people involved.
Yes.
Get other people into that space with you where value was created so that they can see that is where it's all at. And after you take it to the community, take it to the industry. Where
Yes.
do you fit in the industry anyway? And let me tell you about the industry. People don't realize this. If you took all of the car industry and you took all of the tech industry today and added it together, the real estate industry does more business than all of them put together annually.
Wow. More than the tech industry and the car industry
Yeah,
together.
more than both of them. We do about $4.5 trillion every year, and that's a great number. The difference is this: you drive that car for 15 years, and then you junk it.
Yep.
And that application that you bought, and that last month's AI, whatever it was, yeah, that was valuable when it came out, but it's not anymore.
Right.
In real estate, which is the real part, I love being able to tell people, Effie, hey, I can pick up this asset and throw it at you, and you can throw it back at me, and we can go brush ourselves off and laugh. But you are in an appreciating market. This land that I bought is not like AI. It grows. And then the tax code helps me too, right? And so there's even other ways that it benefits individuals. But I hate to throw this number out at you, but the real estate market in the United States is worth $145 trillion,
Wow.
or will be in about 2 years. That's where we're headed. $145 trillion.
Wow.
Um,
That is hard to fathom.
yeah. So where do you fit in? Is there room for you?
I'd say
Yes,
there's got to
there
be a
better
lot of
be.
room there. Yeah.
There's room for you. But
Yep.
how do you find that little place that you fit in? You know what? I can tell you right now, create value.
Right.
There's $145 trillion worth of value out there.
Yep.
You fit in.
Yep. Yeah.
You need to just, decide that is what you're going to do, and that's what you do best, and not, get sidetracked from it, and really, really focus and say, you know what, I'm doing this. Like, for example, with you and co-living, I'm doing this space until I make a difference.
Yeah.
And who am I making a difference for? Again, it's for your partners, it's for your clients, for the
Right.
people who are living there. It's for the PMLs, it's for everybody involved. And then
Absolutely.
you can't lose there. You
No.
can't. You
No.
can't. So yeah, it's an unbelievable number, and there's room for everybody, which is why an abundant mindset matters,
Yes.
and it's why Pace Morby can sit up there and talk ad nauseum about real estate. He
Yep.
loves it, and I'm passionate about it. Like, people get tired and say, can you just stop talking about this? And I was like, hey, you know what? I had a 19-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Let me talk about this for a minute. And
Yep.
so in that time, for example, in the last 6 months, I've spent it trying to help people here, just to get my feet wet. And now I'm trying to create some value just in my backyard here on a little project that I'm working on. And so I'm excited about that.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
A little project, he says. This man is so humble. I wish I could take some of your humility and sprinkle it over some people that are exactly the opposite. The key. But anyhow, so Reds is an interesting project that you're working on, and it's
Yeah.
not so little. Why don't you talk to us about it a little bit first? And then, if you're okay with it, I'd like to show the clip that features it a little bit so that
Sure.
our audience can see,
Sure.
you
Sure.
know, what it is. But talk about it first in
Okay.
your own words.
So this is interesting. This is how the community works. This is the value I'm talking about. So I live in a small little valley up on the backside of Deer Valley in Utah, between Sundance and Deer Valley. I live right in between them. And it's beautiful here. It's stunning. And it has now been discovered. And there's no turning back.
I guess not.
And And so I've always been watching, hey, where is just this little valley headed? We've got 40,000 people now, or 30,000 people. In my little town, there's only 5,000 people.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Now we've got 6 professional length golf courses here. But
That's weird.
yeah, and we also are where a couple of the 2002 Olympic events were held.
Nice.
But this is a particularly beautiful place to live, and I feel really fortunate. My wife is from here, and so she didn't have a hard time talking me into building her a home actually on the same road that she grew up on. So, so that's where I'm at. But I found out about this little project here, not by being in this community. I found out from another sub 2 person.
I'm
It's
sorry, that's hysterical.
somebody in on Facebook said, "I've got this project in Heber City, Utah." And I said, "What?
Heber
No,
City?
you don't. No, you don't. There's no project over there." And then I looked into it, and it had just been approved the night before.
Oh
It
my
was
God. And a sub 2 person brought it in right away?
Yeah,
Oh, how
yeah.
hysterical.
So that's how I got into this little deal, um, and so that's what I'm kind of working on, as a little stepping stone while I'm working on Reds to launch.
Okay.
So
Okay, so with Reds, it's going to be a land development of, okay, and how many homes are you expecting it to be when it's done?
Effie.
Sorry. Okay, never mind. Let's just show what we've got so far. Because I know that this is a project that is of great interest, and I would love to share this with our audience. And then I think we might take some questions if people have questions. But shall we show what we have going? Just hold on. Minimize,
Sure.
present, video file. Okay, reminding myself what I have to do. All right. So let me add this to the stage.
Welcome to Heber Valley, the backdrop of North Village views, where breathtaking scenery and luxury are part of everyday life. At North Village Views, you'll be introduced to a world of elegance with 230 luxury residences and 98 townhomes, each crafted to embody the pinnacle of comfort and style. Just beyond your doorstep, the Sorensen development is springing to life, promising to enhance this community with 5,000 to 6,000 new homes, creating a bustling enclave of vibrancy and growth. Elevating Heber Valley's allure is Extel Development's Mayflower project, a mere 5 minutes from your doorstep. This monumental development by the New York City-based powerhouse is redefining the ski resort experience. With their innovative vision, Extel is crafting the next generation of mountain living, ultra-modern, teeming with technology, and setting a new standard for luxury winter sports destinations. Now, let's venture into the golfer's paradise that is Heber Valley. More than just a pastime, golf here is a journey through over 20 courses within a 20-minute drive, including 2 breathtaking courses currently being shaped by the legendary Tiger Woods. His signature course is poised to become a cornerstone of this golfer's haven. Every sunrise in Heber Valley invites you to a new day on the greens, with each fairway offering a fresh challenge and each hole a new experience. As the seasons shift, so do the offerings of this land. The winter transforms our valleys into a white canvas for skiers and snowboarders alike, with world-class slopes just a whisper away. With the grandeur of Park City, the exclusivity of Deer Valley, and the cultural heartbeat of Sundance all in close proximity, North Village Views is your portal to the best of Utah, marrying the thrill of adventure with the sanctuary of your luxury residence. This is North Village Views. More than a home, it's a lifestyle curated for those who desire the quintessence of luxury living, a connection to nature, and a community that's alive with energy and opportunity. Here, life is not just lived, it's experienced.
Wow. So now we know what the REDS stands for.
Yeah, it's real estate development solutions, and I usually have a scale on my desk, and at the end of it, I'm always looking at things like that, and that's where I got that from.
Wow. So you guys are working on that village land development?
Yeah, I think it'll be probably $120 million project.
Wow. Wow. Okay, guys, absolutely no complaining ever again from any of us. I mean, it's very, very, very impressive to think that you went, from an area of doing really well in life to losing just about everything except your life, so to speak, and you might have wanted to, and then to come back like, like this. It's just so, so impressive. Um, I'm super, super stoked. Knowing that you're going to be launching this within 30 to 60 days. I have I have mentioned in the chat, folks, please be sweet and be kind and do the right thing and let other people in sub 2 know what Ty is up to. I think that, it's amazing to me to think that your son introduced you to sub 2 6 months ago, and you've already touched so many people and helped so many. And now you've gotten your second, wind to be able to get up and push yourselves, even though it's not an easy thing. To
No,
think,
it's not. But to be honest, I'm pretty passionate about it, and I find myself getting up at 4 a.m. and going to bed at midnight a lot of times, and I can't turn my brain off, and I'm so excited about what I'm trying to do right now, and I should say this because you say those kind things about me, but I don't know if I've ever met anybody who hasn't had an experience like mine in some way, shape, or form. Pain,
little way, maybe.
well, pain is part of life, and it can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be physical, it can be spiritual, financial. Pain comes in a lot of different ways, and from what I've seen, it's undefeated so far. Pain hurts, and it will change you. And so I'm not so much I'm no different than anybody else. I'm trying to do the best that I can right now, and I feel fortunate because God gave me a decent brain and a good son who said, "Hey, Dad, get off your butt.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not gonna golf your life away with you anymore," which is easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna build some things, but yeah, I mean, I've looked at people and said, "Oh, they've got it all together." No, they don't. They just don't. Nobody gets out of this life without going through tough challenges that change you, and they don't have to be paralysis or pain or physical pain or what I went through. That's just what I went through. But you know what? Your friend in sub 2 that you talk to frequently, maybe going through something like that. For them, in their world, they're not well equipped to deal with.
Right.
And so the community that PACE builds and the positive nature of it actually matters. It actually matters. And so that's how I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do agree. I think that it helps a lot, to know that we are a community and that we can help each other the way that we do. Um, I definitely think that that's true. And I agree with what Brenda's saying, that your son is really, really awesome. I'm particularly interested in this question. What do you need help with, Ty? How can we help you? And where can we contact you? And when
Uh,
can I put some money down for one of those lots if I can? Sorry, I'm kidding.
you
Scratch that
know,
last one. That was
no,
made by a comment by somebody, not me.
I ought to have a sub 2 townhome up there, right? That we just anybody comes into town, that's where they stay, and they got to be out in 3 days or 5 days or whatever it is. But everybody gets a turn. So,
Wow.
um,
I think we're going to have to edit that out of here. Somebody's going to make you try to keep you to it.
no. So, what do I need? Well, I'll tell you what I need. I need everybody. And you'll think that I'm just, well, that's just a platitude of, this, that. You know what? The thing that I'm building right now, the value that I'm trying to create in my business model, it includes acquisition people. Okay. We've got a couple of those, right?
Yeah.
It includes TCs. We've got a couple of those. It includes marketing people, brokers. It includes individuals that, are PMLs that have money that want to participate. It includes almost every avatar that you can think of
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. And so one of the things that I want is I want to bring that to the community and give people an opportunity to find out where they're making a difference and where the value is for them. And finding, a home for them, that actually would mean a lot to me.
Good. Good. All right. I love it. So absolutely, we should have this. These are all the people that we have. We have everything. That's a very good question and a very good answer. We have everything that.
I should say this while I'm at it. There's some people in this business that have a lot of money. But I'll tell you what makes everything work is the people. It's the people. It's the people next to you. It's the people you don't know yet. It's the people down the road from you. It's the people you built something else together with in the past. It's the people. It really, really is. And that's why the community, everybody on here that's in sub 2, it's like a no-brainer. What's Pace interested in? His community. He'll protect it. He'll fight for it. He'll work for it. He'll die for it. And you know what? That is for me, that's the great value that he brings
Mhm.
to the space. And the rest of it's kind of up to us. He lets us be who we want to be.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. I haven't had Pace on here yet. I'm kind of waiting, but
Mm.
I sure hope that he gets to see this because he should. He should see it, and he should know, what your thoughts are, and that you guys are quite aligned in the concept of people and bringing value and the ethics. All of that, you're so close. And I just think that I would love to have him feature you in multiple ways because of the fact that you, in turn, have so much to help, um, you know, to help other sub 2 students and for sub 2 students to help to you. I think that it is a relationship that gives and takes. Yep, and I would agree with Tigger that both of you guys are visionaries. Um, Now, I know Pace has gone through things in his life too, but the
Yeah,
fact that this happened to you personally, that you had to go through all that pain and pick your sorry ass up, you
yeah,
know, it's just sort of that's what's amazing to me about your story, and the fact that you have it in your heart and in your passion to get up early and stay up late and to go for this. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to manifest exactly how you want it, if not even better. Who wouldn't want to help you? I mean,
and,
it's
uh,
just such an incredible, story, an incredible um, accomplishment. I honestly think that I hope that your son is. I'm quite sure he must feel pretty proud that he's helped his old man you know, to get up and get going.
you know what? If he doesn't, well, I think that he does, but if he doesn't, he's learning a little bit every day, and I try to give him. Here's the thing: you ask what can other people do for me? You know what? You want to do something for me?
Yes.
You know what? You contact Dan, my son, Dan Briggs. He's in sub two. You work
Okay.
you work with Dan because you know what? You do something with Dan. I would rather have that happen than have you do 100 things for me.
You're so sweet.
Well, I
Hey.
think most parents feel that way. It's
Yeah, I know.
so, that's how I feel. And so, yeah, I think it's funny that Pace was a mile away from that project that I showed you growing up. So,
Okay, there it is. I'm putting it out in the world.
you know,
Dan,
and
I
his
I
partner is Caden.
Caden.
Yeah, and Caden is my youngest daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah,
How nice.
and they're smart guys. They're smart guys.
Awesome. Okay. So, yep, I was looking out for others. Yep, he is. So, Dan and Caden,
Mhm.
I adore this man. I adore Ty, and I'm going to follow his direction. I am going to go ahead and contact you guys, and I hope that we can work together and, help each other. But I really, really am looking forward to seeing what Sub 2 does because I love Sub 2 and I think Sub 2 is remarkable.
It is.
And I'm so grateful that you're here in it. And I would love, I'm looking forward to seeing what are they going to do with this. So every single one of you guys that are still on here or that came on here, I don't ask this very often because, well, I think it's easy to ask because it's not for me. I'd really love you guys to take either screenshots or um, to write down some takeaways and go in there and let them know that Ty Briggs is back with a vengeance and he is doing Reds. And if they don't know what Reds is, they should find out. I think that we can help to pique more interest. And I know that this is going to get a lot of views over time. But if you're going to launch in 30 to 60 days, I would love it if we could be at least a small blip, if not huge, in helping to blow it up and bring you the attention and the help and resources that we all know exist in Sub 2.
Well,
Uh,
that would be a blessing for me to have more people in sub two to rub shoulders with.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, a launch party. That's
Yeah.
exactly what this should be. Oh, and I did ask Ty if he would come back. I haven't done that with for anyone before, but I've asked him to come back. And if you want to do it right at launch, that's fine. If you want to do it after, I don't care when. But I think that I would be indebted. I'm already indebted. I just feel super, super, super excited to be a part of knowing what you have in your heart. and knowing that that is what's picking you up and that's helping you to live a very productive life again because you deserve it. And because it's so much better for you and everybody around you.
Well, that's the thing is that's where I find my value because I look at people and I say, like I said, they're building their life in a home. It's on a piece of property that I found, I developed it, and I created, you know, and those kids that grow up in those homes, they create their memories there.
Of
That's where
course.
the families are, you know, being built there. And I go back and drive through these developments. I admit that I do because it warms me right back up. And I want as many people in sub two to feel the same way that I do and have that kind of fulfillment in the way that they're bringing value
Hmm.
and know, hey, I got this deal put together. And you know what? I fought and fought and fought, not for me, but to create that value space, that
Yes.
value add.
Hmm.
And now look, Effie was able to pick that up. And
Yep.
now look what she's doing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we all work together to make that happen. That's powerful. That's
It's
really
very,
powerful.
very, very powerful. Ty, where can people get a hold of you, both in our audience and that see this online? Whether they want to just connect with you as a person or whether they want to find out, how they can participate in Reds or whatever. How could they connect with you?
Do you have my email and phone?
Yes, I do. I just have to get it off my phone. Oh, actually, hey, this will be good for you. Do you want to write it into?
Sure.
Wait. Let's put it in a banner. No, you can't. Put it in a comment, and then I'll drag it from there and make it a banner so that it can stay visually too.
Okay.
Because when this streams live, I believe the chat comes up later. It takes a little while.
It's telling me that I have to log out of here and back into YouTube to get onto this.
Oh, okay, then just say it to
My
me.
phone
No,
number is 435
435.
305.
Oh, wait, this is your phone number?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to put that on the internet?
Yeah.
Let's do, yeah?
Yeah. I don't care.
Let's do email because the email can stay there until you're ready to wake up, but the phone might wake you up nonstop.
You know what? I've been asleep for 19 years, Effie.
Okay.
Let's
Phone
roll.
number, here it comes 435
305
30
9292.
9292. So it's 435 305 9292.
Yeah, and let me just say this:
Whoops.
I
Wait,
didn't-
I got rid of a digit. That's not good. Oh, no, there I am. Sorry.
so, if you're going through something in your life and you are hearing this and you just need somebody to talk to, it doesn't have to be about real estate. You can text me or call me.
Oh.
I'll walk you through that.
Oh, I didn't like it. Didn't want me to do that. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't take phone numbers. I'm not sure. I'll put it in the banner.
So
Hold on.
my email is Ty at Reds Building, all one word, REDSBUILDING.com.
.com.
.com.
Okay. Please let me know if I have this right.
Yeah, that's me.
Good. All right, there you go. I guess maybe it restricts phone numbers.
Mm.
I'd never tried that before. Yep. All right, everyone. That's where you can reach out to Ty. And more than anything, please, let's start sharing this. If each of you posts, one or two posts inside of Sub 2 and in Gator, if you're a Gator, we should be able to get some momentum going. I mean,
you know who I want to connect with?
who?
It's my dream person to connect with.
Who?
I've never told anybody. I want to do business with Molly Tennant.
Oh, score. Not Pace, Molly.
You know what? Love Pace. Me, Molly.
That's right. That's right. Okay, let's get Molly for him.
Yeah, you guys all ping Molly and tell her to get on the phone with me.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get Molly Tennant to connect with Ty. It would be my honor. However, I got to tell you, she's also my person.
Well, you know what? I'm willing to share. I'm willing to share. That girl's got enough brains for all of us.
She
So
sure does. She sure does. Oh my gosh. Okay. And Pansy says, "Yes, I'll do it." Okay, that's great. That's great. Oh my goodness. I do have to say thank you very, very, very much. I'm grateful for everything. We're a little bit past time, so I'm going to say goodbye until next week, but I'm definitely having Ty back. And yes, guys, obviously post because that will help get interest, but let's go get Molly for him. All right. So I think at this point, I'm going to do the outro and to say goodbye to everyone, and we shall see you next week.
thank you,
Thank
Effie.
you.